What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the House of Suain. In this video, I wanted to walk you through my attempt at the equipment-free version of the CrossFit Open 21.1 event. So when compared to the equipment version of 21.1, this version just does not have the double unders. Instead, you'll do lateral jumps over the 2-inch tape. And one rep counts as going back and forth one time. Now, I knew the wall walks were going to be the most difficult portion for me. I just wasn't sure when my arms were going to actually blow up. Now, in regard to the standard of the wall walk, usually when I've done this movement before, it's just come out of the push-up position, chest to the wall, and then chest back down to the floor. But with the standard that was created, I couldn't move my hands from that tape until both my feet were off the floor, and then I could start walking towards the wall. And then my hands had to go all the way to the tape, and then back down, and my feet could not leave the wall until my hands were back at that starting line. So definitely not an exercise where you can kind of just stop thinking and just work out. It definitely took some brain power. So this might be a nice workout to make sure you have a judge, so they can at least remind you what you might be doing wrong. Now, I was looking forward to the lateral jumps because it's something I'm familiar with from my basketball days. The standard for this was the tape I was jumping over had to be the one furthest from the wall, and it also needed to be 2 inches wide. And one rep was actually a down and back. So jump over once, jump back to the starting position, and that would count as one rep. So 10 reps, or you can just say 20 and do like a 2 count exercise. So I think in this round, I think this is round 3, so 6 wall walks, I knew by rep 3 that this is where I was going to take up the most time, which was in these wall walks. So I told myself I'll do a couple reps and then rest and start doing singles. Once your shoulders go, it's not worth failing a rep, especially because you're getting closer to being upside down. The thought of slipping and falling on my head was definitely on my mind as I started to fatigue. Yeah, and you can see here now the long breaks in between each rep are going to start to be a lot more frequent. All that blood kind of trapped in the shoulders and the traps and the triceps just made it that much more difficult to want to walk upside down towards the wall. And one thing I didn't consider being that difficult was making sure my hands got as close to the wall as they needed to. I think that tape was 10 inches away. And there were definitely a few times when I was so close to the tape, but I knew I wasn't touching it with both hands, that I thought about just bro repping myself, but it didn't feel right, so pushed us a little bit further just to get my hand on that tape. But it definitely started to be a mental challenge as well to want to do it. Come on. Yeah, and at this point, what I planned to be maybe 10-second rest in between each rep turned into about 15 seconds, so. Yeah, the one nice thing about doing the equipment-free version is your shoulders get a nice rest from the wall walks when you're doing the lateral jumps. With the equipment version, you're going to go from wall walks the same amount of reps and start doing double unders, which is going to tax your shoulders even more. So that'll be fun when I try that tomorrow. And these lateral jumps never got too bad. Pretty comfortable with double unders, so I have the endurance in my legs to kind of do these types of short jumps for high repetitions. The biggest thing was looking down and making sure I was clearing the tape each time. Again, this isn't going to be for a score or anything, but I still wanted to make sure I was following the standard. And just like with when you're doing jump ropes, single unders, double unders, you want to keep some soft knees, land on the ball of your feet, and then explode right into that next jump as soon as you touch the floor. So right now it's a mix of me trying to be safe and also milking that rest time. I didn't want to slip on my own sweat from the floor, and also I knew my shoulders still needed some rest from those previous sets of wall walks. So now it's back to doing these wall walks that are now compounding their effect on my shoulders. Just off that first rep, I'm already exhausted, so just going into that next one, I didn't want to do it, so I'm already taking at least a 10 to 15 second rest in between. I noticed I started to try to change the form a little bit while keeping the standard. So kind of instead of doing a full body weight push-up, I kind of break down at my knees to take some of the weight off in the push-up, and then I'll start to walk up the wall right there. At this point, as long as I'm keeping the standard of making sure my hands don't leave the tape until both my feet are off the floor, everything else is free game, as long as it helps me not fatigue my shoulders as much. And yeah, if it wasn't for the standard of not being able to move your feet off the wall until your hands are back at that starting tape, as soon as I got to the top of that handstand, I would have just jumped off to the side and reset each time. Good old flying Superman position to get some of the blood out of the arms. And at this point, the fatigue in my arms is starting to frustrate me, and I've forgot my count. So that's another good reason to have someone be your judge, especially for this workout. The wall walk, it's such a long, after a while, the repetition takes so long, actually takes at least probably 5 to 8 seconds for me at least, and kind of forget my reps after all that time. And yeah, I'm at the 9-minute mark. So at this point, I'm past the halfway mark with the 15-minute time cap. So I'm just thinking of 1 rep at a time for these wall walks, and I can rest while I'm doing the higher reps for the lateral jumps, because that will easily let me rest my shoulders. sure, I should have timed that rest. That seemed like 20 to 30 seconds, so it's getting pretty bad now. So CrossFit wasn't exaggerating when they said the equipment-free version will not be a scaled version of the Open this year. This is definitely a tough workout, very shoulder intensive. Yeah, and at this point, I'm just thinking about not falling on my head and just getting through these reps already, just so I can rest my shoulders. It almost seems like I'm crying into the blanket, but I promise I'm just sweating. So at this point, I'm pretty sure I lost count. It should have been a set of 9, and I'm not sure. I think I did all 9, but who knows? I think it's 90 lateral jumps. So really, I'm jumping 180 times because one rep is actually 2 jumps, a back and a forth. So yeah, although you're not taxing your shoulders with double unders, you're jumping twice. So I know I looked at my time about 20 seconds ago, and I knew I'd get to the round of 15 at least and just do as many wall walks as I could for the round of 15 before I hit that 15-minute time cap. Yeah, I knew at this point I probably wouldn't finish the entire workout going up to 21 wall walks, and I think 210 lateral jumps. But that's all right. That's what this is all about, just pushing yourself, getting uncomfortable, and being comfortable there. So with the lateral jumps, again, I was pretty comfortable doing them, but, the CrossFit's all about finding efficiencies. And I found I got a little bit lower in my jumps, so bend a little bit more at the hips and at the knees, and I was able to kind of cycle through them a lot faster, actually. With the double under, which is what I'm used to, the jump I'm used to doing, it's better to stay extended and not break down at the hips and as much at the knees. But with these lateral jumps, I don't need to worry about clearing the rope each time and not hitting it. So bending at the hips and at the knees actually helped me speed through them a lot faster. 15. Yep, so this is the start of 15. And I got about 90 seconds left. I know I'm not going to get all 15 of these wall walks, so now it's just a little mini workout of as many wall walks as possible in 90 seconds without falling on my head. But first, a little nap. So when I'm fresh, that's how I usually like to do wall walks, is push up and take a big long step towards the wall. Let's see if I do it again. But that's when I'm fresh. But for the most part, as I fatigue throughout this whole workout, see a big step, and then I'll start walking towards the wall. Because as soon as both your feet are touching the wall, you can start moving your hands with this standard. But as I start to fatigue, most of my reps looked a lot different, where I was doing like sort of a modified push-up on my knees and then taking a short step towards the wall just so I could start moving my hands. But I found a spurt of energy in the last 90 seconds, of course. So I think that's 3 so far. So yeah, it looks like I did 4 out of 15. So I got to round of 15, got 4 wall walks in. Yeah, folks. So again, that was the equipment-free version of 21.1. Do not think of it as a scaled option. I promise you that is the furthest thing from the truth, as you can see from my pain face right now. Shoulder intensive, make sure you warm them up. Get a feel for the lateral jumps over the tape, but I think that's going to be a great rest and recovery for your shoulders. Definitely a shoulder intensive workout. I'll be doing the equipment version tomorrow. That probably sounds like a terrible idea right now, especially because the wall walks are the same exact amount of reps, and I'll be doing double unders. But to stay updated on what's going on, like and subscribe. And until next time, in the House of Suain, thanks for watching.